Hey, I'm Alex from BoardGameCo, and today we have a very short video, which is something I say a lot, but today I really mean it. And today we are covering the two expansions for Project L, or the two current expansions of the Ambassador expansion and the Ghost expansion, which both mix up the gameplay in a satisfying way. Well, that's pretty much it. And basically we have these pieces that are going to be introduced, and we'll go through that shortly because I'm going to go through a how to play, again, quick overview just to give you an idea of how the Ghost expansion and the Ambassador expansion both play out, and from there we'll go into my review. So let's cover the gameplay changes that the Ambassador and the Ghost action bring to the table. And the Ambassador expansion brings you these various puzzles over here that introduce this little M icon as your award. And that M icon, you're going to put it into your puzzle stack, same as a usual award once you unlock that puzzle. And then as an action, you can flip that to cash in on that master action. It's basically an extra master action in order to take multiple master actions on a turn. So in addition to your one free master action, you can flip this puzzle to take one additional master action as long as you have this as a reward, which can be incredibly impactful late game. That's all the Ambassador expansion brings to the table. It's not a lot, but it certainly is meaningful. The Ghost expansion, on the other hand, introduces a lot more. The Ghost expansion is going to introduce these puzzles that have as their reward different things. So we're going to have, for instance, this puzzle over here, which as you fill up that puzzle, you're going to get a ghost piece as a reward. So I'm going to get that ghost piece. That's these black level 5 pieces, which you can see over here. And these are incredibly important for two reasons. First of all, they are going to actually give you additional larger pieces. So now you're able to put a 5 piece on the board, one of these 3 shapes, which you can't see against that background. Let me go ahead and flip one of these puzzles for you. So we have these additional shapes over here that will give you additional options on your turn in terms of finishing a puzzles more efficiently. You can see this puzzle over here, if you had that ghost piece, would have given you another one with one move, which is insane. At the same time, the ghost pieces also unlock an additional action, in the sense that you can take, as an action, you can take a ghost action, which is where, let's grab a little small puzzle. Let's pretend we have this puzzle over here, which will let us do another thing. What I can do, in fact, let's grab another one. Let's grab one of these. Let's pretend we have these puzzles over here, and we have this ghost piece. As an action, what I can do is I can split this up into any pieces that make up that total, like so. I'm going to go ahead and do this as my actions, and then you can put them into different puzzles, one piece per puzzle. So it's kind of like a combination of splitting up a piece along with a master action to fill a bunch of slots. So for example, let's pretend I have this here. I can go ahead and split that up, put this here, and put this here. I don't have to put them. I could put this back in my supply, and then for a second action, put this over here, completing that. So the ghost piece, the ghost action, lets you use those ghost pieces you've built and then split them into multiple puzzles. In the beginning of the game, that might not be a good move, but as the game hits its closing, as you're trying to finish off multiple puzzles, that can be incredibly impactful to slightly eking out a more efficient turn, a more efficient strategy than your opponent. And then lastly, I'll note these arrows here. The problem with ghost pieces is they cannot be upgraded the same way a typical piece. You cannot take this piece and then upgrade it as an action to a ghost piece. They are locked off. But if you earn an upgrade icon, then you could upgrade them that way. You can see the red arrow versus the blue arrow. Ghost pieces have to be either earned or upgraded through that special action. And that is what the Ghost expansion brings to the table. And so that's basically it. There's nothing particularly amazing on the table here. It just adds more options to this game, and I think both options do a solid job. I mean, the Ambassador expansion I could take or leave, honestly. I don't mind it, for sure don't mind it, but I don't know if I'd really pay much to get it because it adds that little extra master action, but again, it doesn't really do enough to me for me to bother hunting it down. At the same time, the Ghost expansion I really like. It adds an additional nuanced option to the table of getting these various ghost pieces that are both, well, they're both better because they're bigger, as well as the fact that they give you that nuanced action of splitting it out in order to fill multiple puzzles at once. The Ghost expansion is a breath of fresh air to giving you just one more thing to do in this game. If you watched my review of the base game, you already know that I feel the base game is good but samey. The Ghost expansion doesn't change that because it still has the same gameplay every single time. It's still the same game, so it doesn't improve upon what is currently my biggest critique of Project L. At the same time, I like it and I would recommend hunting it down. I think it adds more strategy to the game. I already talked about how, in the base game video, I already talked about how the game is a bunch of nuanced choices to slightly out-optimize your opponent for the win. And the Ghost expansion gives you one more area to slightly out-optimize your opponent through the win. So one more nuance anyone's choice on the table to go through for those ghost pieces or not, and just as importantly, to split them up or not. I think the Ghost expansion is an excellent expansion to Project L, one that I am happy to own, and one that I do recommend you track down and, well, get your hands on. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo. I hope you enjoyed this very short video, and until next time, have a good one.